Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Scarlett from Miss Money and thanks for joining us. Today, we're talking about why there's still hope for Workhorse and why I believe this stock will only move up from here. The recent plunge is nothing to fret over as the political push to get Biden to go more green continues. I'll talk about some of the news that makes me incredibly bullish about this stock's potential to skyrocket to the moon. You do not want to miss out on this stock, even when things seem fairly gloomy now. I do not think this will last for the long term. Stick around for the whole video as I share my price prediction and analysis toward the end. And real quick, hit that like and subscribe button and join our community here as we make some gains together. Also, beware of spam in the comments. I will never ask you to text a WhatsApp number or anything like that. I try to report as many spam comments as I can, but if you see anything, please help us out. Now, let's dive in. I'll start with the not so hot news, and the news I'm sure we're all familiar with. Workhorse hasn't had the best PR as of late. If you don't know about Workhorse already, just a quick recap. Workhorse is an electric vehicle manufacturer looking to create electric delivery trucks. The hope was that all USPS trucks would go with Workhorse to manufacture their fleets, and investors were led on to believe this would happen. But USPS revealed last month that it had chosen Oshkosh Defense to make the next USPS mail truck, which meant that Workhorse lost. And with that loss came a steep drop in Workhorse's stock price. Shareholders were really upset, me included.
In a massive step toward making U.S. postal delivery vehicles electric, the U.S. Postal Service has turned to the EV maker Oshkosh with a 10-year contract. And the EV maker's rival Workhorse is feeling the missed opportunity. Its shares slumped 47%. That's the biggest drop since 2011. Here to discuss is Bloomberg's senior reporter, Kyle Stock. Hey Kyle, always great to have you on the show. According to Bloomberg Intelligence, this contract could be worth more than $5.7 billion in revenue. Where are we with the deal? Is this deal final for Oshkosh?
It's final in a sense. I mean, they're giving them the money to get started. So there's $482 million. Basically, that's just going to go to designing this thing and building the factory or tooling the factory. So it's just kind of early stages. It'll ramp up from here, but at the moment it's called an IDIQ, indefinite delivery, indefinite quantity. So it's flexible.
Okay, so you joined us recently over the last few weeks when we learned that President Biden wants to electrify the fleet of hundreds of thousands of federal vehicles. Included in that, hundreds of thousands, are indeed hundreds of thousands of the United States Postal Service vehicles. So are these ones that are made by Oshkosh, are they going to be electric?
They're not initially. That's what's weird about this contract. It calls for efficient vehicles, starting probably with gas, and then they're going to ideally design something that can be retrofitted with an electric motor and drivetrain, years down the line.
So
it's a little bit of a half step, if you will.
This is really surprising for me, given that these vehicles haven't, I don't want to call them cars, they're something. Trucks, vans, cars, they're pretty cool looking. I mean, they were trending on Twitter last night for a reason. I think they're cool looking. They're polarizing, I think we could say. At least the design at this point is. It's puzzling to me, though, that they wouldn't just jump out of the gate with electric vehicles, because as you explained to us just a few weeks ago, postal trucks are like the perfect thing for electric vehicles because they can do an entire route on one charge and then go back to where they park overnight and get charged.
Now, one investor has sued. The suit, which was just filed Monday by Sam Farr in the U.S. District Court in California, alleges fraud and highlights a number of quotes from Workhorse executives ahead of USPS announcement on February 23rd. The quotes are intended to show that Workhorse led investors on about the possibility of getting all or part of the USPS contract for new mail trucks, inflating its stock price as a result. It seems with Workhorse, there's a lot of political interference going on. And in a turn of events, House Democrats called on the Biden administration to halt the U.S. Postal Service's $482 million contract with Oshkosh to help modernize the service's aging fleet of delivery trucks until an investigation can prove there was no inappropriate political influence in the award. And of course, after this Oshkosh news, shares of Workhorse dropped by nearly 50% the next day and have barely recovered since then. The shares jumped by almost 8% on Tuesday though, closing at $16.35 per share. So under the contract that was initially agreed upon with Oshkosh, Oshkosh would, over the next decade, manufacture up to 165,000 postal vehicles, roughly a third of the federal government's fleet. However, the USPS chief recently told lawmakers that only 10% of the new fleet would be electric, which, would be inconsistent with what President Joe Biden's been saying in his efforts to electrify the entire federal fleet. And without getting too political, people are pushing Biden to stay true to his word. They want to create a greener America. Whether you support this or not, it goes without saying that people feel led on about USPS and Workhorse working together. According to a statement, lawmakers are concerned about reports of suspicious stock trades that were placed just hours before the Oshkosh announcement was made. Members of the House of Representatives have concerns over the award to Oshkosh. This includes the fact that a 524,400 share purchase for Osh stock. The deal was made after hours, shortly before the company was awarded the USPS truck deal. Seems pretty suspicious to me. Shares of Oshkosh Corporation, the parent company of Oshkosh Defense, closed down slightly on Tuesday. I believe this is great news for Workhorse. Nothing is confirmed yet, but people speculate that the pressure is on to make the USPS drive fully electric vehicles with Workhorse. The complaint claims that Workhorse failed to disclose that it was merely hoping that USPS was going to select an electric vehicle as its next generation delivery vehicle and had no assurance or indication from USPS that this was the case. In addition, the suit alleges that Workhorse concealed information that electrifying the entire Postal Service fleet would be impractical and expensive. When the Postal Service announced the Oshkosh Award last month, Workhorse fell to $14.88 per share, or 47% to close at $16.47 per share. The price continued to drop in after-hours trading and opened on February 24th at a price of $14.07, a fall of over 50% from the previous open. Huffman, a member of the House Committee on Transportation and Infrastructure, says the legislation would provide $6 billion in funding to electrify the United States Postal Service's vehicle fleet. A couple congressmen have signed on the Postal Vehicle Modernization Act. The bill calls for 75% of the USPS fleet to be replaced by EVs. They say, by electrifying the Postal Service fleet, we have an opportunity to boost our economy, slash emissions, and save the crumbling Postal Service. The benefits and need for action could not be clearer. Biden himself has called for complete federal vehicle electrification. Look, it's unclear whether an SEC investigation would result in the Postal Service reopening the underlying contract bidding process. However, with so many hopes pinned on Workhorse supplying mail trucks to the federal government, shareholders are optimistic, me being one of them. There's risk involved with any investment. I think with all the pressure against Biden for going fully green, Workhorse will come out on top. And if you're holding, I'm with you. Of course, there's no guarantee that this will happen. Additionally, I think in the short term, Workhorse will be a fairly volatile stock. So it's definitely one that will keep you on your toes. So guys, this news has been really crazy, up and down, a lot of people at fault, a lot of political stuff going on, but I really think keep holding on. Or if you're me, I plan on adding some more shares because even in the immediate future, if things don't work out, I'm confident that in the long term, Workhorse will skyrocket. In the short term, I believe Workhorse will reach $25 per share. And in the long term, there's no doubt in my mind that this stock will reach above $100. I wouldn't be surprised if in the next few days or so, we'll see Workhorse reach maybe $17 or $18 per share. And since the stimulus bill was just passed, and many people will receive their stimulus checks here in the coming weeks, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised to see a peak there because people love Workhorse. They rally around it. And I think, you might want to get in before people start getting their stimulus checks and going out and, getting in the stock. So thanks for watching, guys. I'm Scarlett from Miss Money, and let's invest and get rich together.